It's that time again. But sadly, it's the final time.
It's the final countdown.
It's the finale of the after show for Desire Submission. So y'all know the routine. Before we get started, this is your spoiler alert. If you have not seen the season finale of Desire Submission, please go over to patreon.com/Finarios and watch the entire season. It's all there.
It's all there.
Go binge watch. We love that for you. So today, if you've watched the after show, you know I have a very, interesting outlook on this character. The actress I love her to death.
I love you as well.
But Mariah. But today it's Terry Arcelia.
Yes, hello. How are you all doing? Hello, how's it going?
So Terry.
Yes, Blair.
Tell me about yourself.
Okay, well, obviously I'm an actor. But I'm just like an all-around creative. I've been performing my whole life. All my life I had to perform.
Funny, the song in episode 6.
6 or 7?
The song in episode 6, the strip club scene, that was Terry's song.
Yes, thank y'all for putting it in there.
Yeah,
I appreciate
we got
that.
you, girl.
Thank y'all. But yeah, I love music. Music's my first love. I've been doing music my whole life. I sing, rap, dance, everything. I've always been a dancer and a performer and all that stuff. And yeah, I do comedy. So that's what most people know me for, is making folks laugh on the internet. But I moved to Atlanta 3 years ago. I wanted to train with my acting at a high level. And so before I had moved here, I was training online, but I was like, it's different. Like, I want to train in person. So I moved here 3 years ago to train, and it's been dope. I've met such amazing creatives like you and Lonnie and Adro and Blair. Shout out to the team, and my comedic friends. And it's just been a hell of an experience being in Atlanta, and I'm so thankful to have been here and be here and be a part of this, child. So, it's great. I'm just a creator who loves to perform. It's my passion, and I'm blessed because it's also my purpose. So that is so dope.
It's a blessing to be able to incorporate both of them.
Yes,
so.
yes.
Funny enough, child, I had to fight for Terry for this role because I don't know why, but I just completely envisioned you for Mariah. Mm-hmm. Just like her aesthetic of just like a baddie, but also like a relationship girl. Like, if you know, like you can be like super bad, but then once you get in a relationship, it kind of like, it just changes, but you're still bad, but it's just like a little more conservative.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But we've all known you from comedy. Yeah. And so they was like, Terry. And I was like, yes. I don't know what it is. You just gotta trust. Because I had never even seen
my angels were whispering in your ear, like, cast her.
Yeah, literally. Because I was like, have you ever seen her do anything serious? And I was like, no. But I don't know. Something was just telling me. And you did a table read with Lou, and mind blown. Chills, shivers down the spine. Yeah. It was so good.
Yes, thank you.
And Terry was sneaky though, because we were gonna give her the best friend role, and she pulled up with the cast. She said, "Wrap them up,
come on, y'all.
This is my show." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else we could do." But you did an absolutely phenomenal job.
Thank you, Blair.
So fun. So this was. You said it a lot on set. We popped your
sex scene cherry. Yes.
So how was that? Like being on set for those scenes?
Ooh, child. Okay, I'm trying to take myself back to that place mentally, because now it's different.
Now she doing sex scenes all over the place.
Right? I'm like, come on here, take your clothes off. I was a little nervous, but I was eager. Yeah. And I was excited for the stretch. And like when I read the script, I was shooketh. I was sitting in a parking lot in my car in Orlando, and I was just like, ooh, Lord, because you're one hell of a writer. So it's very descriptive. And like, I was just like, and he da-da-da and takes her breast and
I read one too many of them erotic novels in high school.
It was very descriptive. So I was like, ooh, Lord. So, I mean, in my heart, like, when I read the script, I resonated so much with Mariah, some of the things she says and does, but the sex scenes, going into it, I was a little nervous, but I was excited. And I knew that it would be liberating for me.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was. I mean, there were times where I was a little, scared or whatever, or even uncomfortable, but that's the only way we can grow, right? Is to do things that we're not comfortable with. And I'm so happy I did it. And so I just, man, I knew it was going to be a stretch. I was like, girl, it's time to stretch, baby. So, yeah.
So then that goes into my next question. What was the most nerve-wracking scene to shoot?
Yeah.
But also, what was your most fun scene to shoot?
Okay. I feel like my most nerve-wracking scene was the final sex scene with Mariah and Twan. Just because I knew that it had to be, very passionate. It had to be very passionate. And the love is the root of their relationship, right? So I knew that it needed to give like makeup sex. When you love someone, is different than lustful sex, which is what Mariah has with, Taj, sorry. Like their sex is really carnal and like, come here. Like it's
very primal.
It's like it's animalistic in a way. And I knew that me and Kel, we wanted to make it like make it sexy and connect. So I really I was happy and proud when I saw it. I was so nervous. Like I was watching with my eyes closed. I'm so weird even now. Like I kept pausing it. But that was the hardest, just because I wanted to make it look good and be vulnerable. And it looked so good. It looked so beautiful. It looked real. I was shook. I was shook. So that was, I'll say, the most challenging scene, I'll say. Yeah. And the most fun scene, I guess I'll just say the scene where Mariah is trying to get back into the house. I won't necessarily say it was like, oh, I'm having a ball, whatever, but like I just let myself go. And like even in the script, like I don't know, I had a good time doing that, like throwing stuff at him. Like I was like, what do I have on me? Like just throw
her keys at the man.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, it wasn't it wasn't overly like, let's have a ball, da da da. But I don't know, I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed, like they can open his door and throwing stuff at him and stuff. And I love when watching it back and hear him say, "You raggedy bitch." I was like, oh, I was shook. I love it. I loved it so much. So I'd probably say that was like my most fun scene, I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing that has been, and I told you we've talked to Lou, we've talked to Kellen, and we talked to Elle. Mm-hmm. So one thing that has been like a big conversation is the dynamic between you and Twan and you and Taj.
Yes.
But also the dynamic on set with you and Kellen and you and Lou.
With me and Lou, yeah.
So tell us about that. Like how was that?
Okay, so it's funny because I was watching an after show and you were kind of, talking about the differences between our dynamics off screen and how it worked well on screen. So I knew Lou, I've known Lou for 3 years. We trained together in class in 2021. So him and I already had a rapport, or we already had a friendship. So I felt more comfortable with Lou just because we were friends outside of, not besties or anything, but we've always supported each other and we've trained together, things like that. Kellen, I had just met Kel, and the first time I met him, we bumped heads, like off set, like immediately. And so I was just like, bro, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel. And so obviously, you know, still be professional, still do your job, things like that. But as the episodes went on, me and Kel, we got more comfortable around each other. And as the season was wrapping is when we really truly got an understanding for who we are as people. Yeah. And that doesn't always happen. I know, you know, just because you work with people doesn't mean you have to be besties or whatever. But it's cool when you do become friends. So me and Kel, it was a slow kind of evolution of our friendship. So we were a little more, what's the word? I won't say standoffish, but
there was a little more tension.
There was a little more tension just because, you know, we didn't have that personal rapport. But I think that that was perfect because Twan and Mariah, they lying to each other so bad. Like, it's just like their inner demons are, can I curse now?
Yeah.
It's like their inner demons are, Twan and Mariah's inner demons are like fucking them up so bad. And it's like they can't really fully let their guard down. Like, I mean, I couldn't imagine carrying those types of secrets and being comfortable around my man. Like it like you said, there's tension.
Yeah.
So yeah, our relationships off screen definitely affected our relationships on screen for sure. Yeah.
So you had some really hot moments with Taj. Mm-hmm. Like they got very spicy.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Very spicy. Immediately.
So tell me about that. Like, tell me how that was your rapport with him outside was able to help you with those scenes.
Yeah. So let me...
Because they were, like, aggressive. Like, I think the first one was, like, you getting handcuffed, like, thrown on the bed.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I guess trying to put myself back in that space. But yeah, because we were cool, because like I said, we trained together, right? So, and the level that we were training at, it was an intense level. Mm-hmm. So in that space, like when you train as an actor, when you're in class, it is a very vulnerable space. And so Lou has seen me cry, sob. Child. I had to miss class sometime because every day my coach would be like, Terry, this is what you're doing. I'm like, really, again? Again, can I make y'all laugh today? Damn, that's what, it's so funny that the people in our social media funny world, that's what they've known me for. But when I train, they're like, you're funny? Like, and I've trained with 3 different coaches and literally with like my classmates see my page, they're like, wait, you do comedy? Because every time I'm in class, my coaches, they always, you know, they want me to pull pain and anger and hurt and things like that. So I was in the trenches with Lou. Yeah. So, you know, and we've played boyfriend and girlfriend before in class a couple times. So, you know, we've talked after class. He would ask me for suggestions about things. And like I said, we just had a friendship. When you're in class, it is a vulnerable space. And my teacher at the time, my coach, he said, you know, if I ever hear any of you telling any of the secrets that your classmates have shared in this class, if I find out about it, you're kicked out of the school, and I'm gonna tell my agent, and I'm gonna make sure to tell every other agent in this city that you are not to be trusted, and you do not respect your art, and you do not respect your peers. So like, that's how serious we took it. Yeah. You know, there's people in class talking about molestation. You know, there's people talking about dark things they've been through. So of course, you know, me and Lou at this point, we're just like pretty vulnerable in front of each other. So I was more nervous just because I had never like shown that much skin before in that way. But Lou, he was like, okay, kiss me. Like, he wanted it to make it look as real as possible. So I just kind of was giggling a little bit because he was like, yeah, all right, show my butt cheeks. Nigga, what?
Nigga, butt cheeks.
Wait a minute. No diddy.
Put those things away.
Put them away. Put your pants, put your trousers on. But no, so, you know, our rapport outside, this. It just made it more comfortable. So yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, going back to the episode, in episode 8, Mariah tries to lay everything out on the table. And things just keep stopping her from doing so.
Yeah.
And then we get to the final scene where they're like about to get back into this conversation. She feels like she made it out. Like she doesn't have to tell her man nothing. And Asia's there. What did that, like, from the outsider looking in, like, as Terry, like, what does that, or how did that make you feel? Like, watching the progression of, like, Asia with Twan and then with Mariah and then now in this situation?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, watching the whole damn series, all I can do is shake my head. Just because, like, a lot of things in real life, like bits and pieces of this story, I've lived in real life. And so, you know, like substitution for some of these characters, you know, it makes me think of certain people that I know, and I'm just like, I can't do nothing but shake my head because, child, all these secrets and all these lies and deception, that's what we should call it, desire, submission, deception, because everybody full of shit. And so, I mean, even watching the episode now, I'm just, in my head, I'm like, Mariah is so manipulative.
Yeah.
But you're never supposed to villainize your, the character you're playing, you know.
Well, you're not playing her no more.
You know what I'm saying? So while I'm playing it, I don't think nothing's wrong with what I'm doing, but watching it outside, I'm like, damn, this girl's fucking manipulative.
Yeah.
And even in the last scene where she's like, I'm going to Kia's house, not the last scene, the last episode, she pulls that Kia excuse again. I'm like, God damn, bitch, can we get something else? Like,
right, it's like, that's her go-to. It's
such
like,
a filthy liar. Like, bitch, can we get a little creativity? Like, switch it up. And I'm just like, God, this girl is so manipulative. So I didn't like that at all. Mariah thought she won. In a way, she thought she was home free. She thought she won, and the script got flipped on her once again. So I mean, I feel for her. I feel hurt for her because I know that hurt her feelings to see that she felt played. But it still was like, God damn, all of y'all full of shit. Lord, have mercy. And as a viewer, you're like, what's next? Like, is she gonna slap that bitch? Like,
right.
Like, what happens? You know. So that's kind of where I was. Like, the saga continues.
So that last scene, it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, right? So as Mariah, if you could keep the scene going, and like you're writing, at this point, you're writing your own life. Like, what would have happened in that moment?
Oh, she would have got dealt with. Like, while the wig would have came off, we would have had to scrap right there. I mean, I love Elle to death. This is nothing against Elle. We're talking about the character. I love Elle. But in that moment, somebody is going to have to fight. Like, somebody need their ass beat at this point. Somebody, Mariah finna be right at that jail with Todd. Because somebody getting their motherfucking ass beat tonight. That's how I feel. Because how do you not duel after something like that?
Yeah.
It's time for a duel. Like, somebody getting, bitch, you been lying to me for how long? Saying you was my friend? And you been fucking, somebody getting fucked up today, Blair. So that's kind of how I would be. And then maybe, you know, Mariah would be in prison next door to Taj. And then maybe they'd start like,
or
together. Maybe like on opposite floors, and then they'd be like prison lovers, like communicating through the toilet. Yeah, something like that. Mariah's so dead. Or maybe she finds a girl lover in prison. And I don't know, but I don't know if she goes to jail. But I just know what I would love for Mariah to do is find some damn self-respect and strength and leave. But whew, I just feel like some violence would need to happen after that. Time for a duel. Somebody's fighting in here.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy scene.
Yeah.
I always wonder if people are going to need, like, to see what happens after that.
Yeah.
Because it was never my plan to do another one.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I feel that.
You know, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because that's what happens when you're the girl. You can do what you want.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely was a cliffhanger for sure.
For sure. So let me ask you this, and this is my favorite question to ask because I feel like in these conversations, people have tried to play nice. I know what I think, but I want to know what you think.
Okay.
Who do you think is the, you know what, when they do those, like, the villain of the movie versus the actual villain?
Yeah.
Who do you think is the villain of the show?
Yeah.
And the actual villain of the show?
I mean, everyone would have their opinion. I would feel like people would probably say Mariah is the villain.
Nobody says Mariah.
Really?
And I'm like, y'all are being nice because
Really?
y'all like Terry. Mariah is
you.
for
I'm glad
sure
that
the
my
villain.
cast loves me. I love y'all too. But I mean, I feel like Mariah kind of is the quote unquote villain.
I told y'all.
But I mean, to me, I feel like the actual villain is Taj, just because that motherfucker is so calculated and manipulative. And to me, I feel like I do feel like he's the actual villain. Just the fact that he already knew who Mariah was, the fact, like, just the disgusting level of narcissism. He's 100% a sociopath. Like, even the way that he does things to her that no one else knows, that's something that abusers do. Like, he's so calculated. And this is your friend, your so-called brother.
Yeah.
And you're sleeping with the woman, his wife. You know, it's everything. I mean, Taj was the puppeteer of, to me, like, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody was in the palm of his hand, if you ask me. So I think, like, on the surface, a lot of people would villainize Mariah. I think she definitely was a villain, but I think the actual villain was Taj. I feel like that motherfucker was, like, sitting at home for, like, 2 years, like, planning this shit out. So Mariah
just had her picture on the wall, like,
get you, bitch. Step one,
for no
meet
reason
at restaurant, stalk social media, and that happens.
Yeah.
I've seen it in real life. Like, that happens. Motherfuckers are calculated. So I feel like Taj is the real villain of all of this.
It's crazy because I also felt like Asia was not a villain until she went out of her way to befriend Mariah. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why would you do that? If you just be with the man. Like,
I don't think it was weird. And I think that speaks on your awareness of the human experience and your awareness of emotion. I've noticed that women in these types of situations, they'll a lot of times idolize the other woman or become, like, obsessed with her or try to compete with her. You know, I've seen situations where, another girl would be like, okay, fine, whatever. This is a safe space. There was a situation I was in the past, and the person I was with was cheating, and he told me later, way later, when he was trying to grovel and come back, he was telling me his truth. And I asked him, I said, did these women know that you had a girlfriend? And he said, yeah, they knew. And they'd say, oh, she's so pretty, she's beautiful, why are you cheating? So,
as they laid in bed with him.
I don't know where the fuck they laid.
Helped them cheat.
I don't know where they laid. The nigga was broke, so it probably was either their air mattress or maybe a back alley or something. But, and I've seen that in other situations too, where, you know, that's a thing. Perfect example. Sorry, I'm gonna rant a little bit. Even with animals, women, female animals can become like that. Like, it's just like, I don't know, it's a thing, like, where, you know, another woman, like the woman on the outside, she can become, like, obsessed or, like, idolize the woman in the picture. And I don't think Asia was malicious. I think she admired Mariah in a lot of ways. That's why she's always saying, oh, does she like girls? Like, I'll eat her real good. Like, she wants to be Mariah's friend at the end of the day.
Yeah.
She just wants to fuck her as well. So, yeah, I don't think that that's weird. It happens so often. And the fact that you wrote that, no, that's not weird. That says a lot about your emotional intelligence and awareness, honestly. Yeah, seriously.
I'm an emotionally intelligent woman.
No, girl, it's serious. Yeah.
So, throughout filming, right, there was a lot of super emotional scenes. particularly with Mariah and Twan, they fought a lot.
Yeah.
And some of those fights were probably the most, like, gut-wrenching, like, I don't know, like, hair stands up on your neck type of just feelings from not just y'all, but, like, the entire room.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me what you had to do to get in, like, the mindset for those scenes.
Whew. So the fights with Mariah and Twan, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I didn't have to do a lot of preparation because I've lived those situations. I've lived them so many times. Like, you know, being in a toxic relationship and people, you know, their behavior is switching, or why are you not coming home, or why didn't you answer? Like, what the fuck is, like, you know, I've been in those situations where you try to talk, and then at this point it's anger. And it's, you know, what they say is a thin line between love and hate. So even though they're yelling at each other and all these obscenities, you bitch ass, you stupid, just da da da, they still love the fuck out of each other. This is a karmic relationship. It's so toxic, but they can't really stay away from each other. Clearly, they're trauma bonded in some type of way. So I didn't have to do a whole bunch of preparation in that way. Me and Kellen, we just fit like a glove in those situations, and I gave it to him and he gave it right on back to my ass, and it was real. It felt real, and I've lived it. So child, when you don't live certain things, you just it triggers your brain back to that place, and you go there.
Yeah, because it was sometimes where it would get, like, it was so real, like it would get physical. Like, I remember one time you had, like, either mushed him or I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I turned him around one time.
Yeah, like, you was manhandling that man, and I was just like, oh, God.
Well, I did tell him he could do it back to me. And he was like, are you sure?
He was not finna do that to you.
I'm like, Kel.
I think the only time he put his hands on you was when y'all were in the kitchen and he
turned me around.
He like pushed you or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was just like, oh Lord.
Yeah, I mean,
it made it so real because it makes it feel like you're just like a fly on the wall in this situation, and you're like, you want to stop it or like help it, or you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, if a couple's talking to each other like that, there probably is some type of physical element, even if it's not really beating the shit out of each other. There's some pushing, or there's something like, because you can only call a nigga a bitch ass nigga for so many times. I mean, not saying like he's in his right to, but I'm just saying you never know. You might catch a motherfucker on the wrong day and say something crazy to him. They're like, what are, you know, child, you gotta be careful in them situations. Y'all run for your life, run for the hills, get help. Don't nobody put your hands, right?
Let's lighten up the mood. Who's your favorite person to shoot with?
Favorite person to shoot with?
And I feel like I should exclude Kai because, like, that's a given.
I'll probably just have to say Lou, just off the strength of we felt so comfortable around each other. So probably would have said that, I think so. And you never really knew what those scenes were going to give that day. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Child, oh my God, I'm gonna spank her ass. I'm gonna, like, that hurts. Like, it was just, but it was never a dull moment. So I'll say that for sure. It was never, and obviously Kai, that's my girl. So yeah.
So what character do you feel like you as Terry are most like?
I'd say Mariah. 100%.
Not the toxicity.
No. Well, okay. Well, not the cheating and the lies and the deceit. But like when I read the script and Mariah says, I'm loyal. I'll never, you know, I say this to you before, I've said this to you before, like I've said that so many times in life, just because that's who I have been my whole life in relationships. Like, nigga, I've given you this much loyalty, da da da. Like that's something that's, so I'd say that, but Mariah's naivety is something that I resonate with, not now, because I've healed a lot of that and grown a lot of that, but in my past, for sure. Falling in love quickly, ignoring red flags, something that a lot of women do, think emotionally and not logically. Like, I've done that definitely done that.
Yeah.
Mariah doesn't realize she's being played. She doesn't realize she's a pawn in a game. And, you know, she doesn't realize, like, I think Taj does have some care for her, but he's incapable of love. He's a monster, and he's got some shit going on. But I think he's more in it for, like, lust. And, you know, and Mariah falls in love so fast. And I've done that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've definitely done that.
Yeah, you fall in love so fast with, like, the worst person in history.
Oh, my God. And then it takes a while to take them rose-colored glasses off. Like, so definitely Mariah, I feel like I resonate with the most. The situation she's in with Twan, like I said, I've lived a lot of that. When Mariah's on the couch and she's like, when are you coming home? And Twan's like, oh, I'm just watching the game. And then it's two girls in the background. Like, I've lived that. You know what I'm saying? So definitely her, as I just felt like called to play her. Because I was like, this is my life. But not the cheating and
it was so funny because
a lot of things are not, but I resonate with her. Yeah.
I was very nervous about, because initially I had told you had got the Mariah part. I was like, yeah, like I just picture you like, I don't really care what nobody else says, because I really didn't care what anyone else said about it. But I was so nervous, and I was like, because even when everybody was like fighting me, and I'm like, well, yeah, maybe she's not gonna be comfortable with it anyway, because like it's a lot. Like I get it. So when I had came back and I was like, because I was just like, no, fuck that. I want her, like I want what I want. And even when we offered you the Kia role, you were super excited, super like gracious about it. And I was just like, oh, that was easy. But then I was just like, no, like it's just something about her. Like she just has to play this role. Like she's just exactly what I wanted for the part. So, and you were super like drawn to it. And I was just like, okay, like she's not weirded out by like, all the sex scenes and stuff. Because I think you were the only girl who really had sex scenes. Elle had like implied stuff. But like you had real sex scenes. So I just appreciate you for making them like so just real and so beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, it's just so artistic.
Thank you. Thank you for taking a chance on me. And yeah, as far as the sex scenes, I mean, I was very proud of myself just seeing them, because I'd be like, nah, T. When I watch myself, I refer to myself as T or TT. Like, come on, or I'll say, come on, kid. Like, when I'm like hyping myself up, or I'm like watching myself where I'm working, I'll be like, all right, kid, okay, kid. Like, I hype myself up in that way. So when I watch the sex scenes, I'll be like, all right, okay. You know, I'm very proud of how they turned out, and like the vulnerability that I gave. And like I said, that last scene with Twan, like that was so good. That last sex scene was so good. It looked like I was like, you know, like we were a real couple, and I'm so glad that it translated so beautifully on screen. I loved it. So,
and it was funny because that was like the first day on set that you and Kellen actually like kind of became friends. Like y'all weren't standoffish to each other. Y'all were like having a good time. It was like just a vibe. And that was like the first time, and then it was like the time that we needed it.
The time that we needed it, like him and me, it was kind of like like I said, a slow evolution. Like we just were professional and respectful and cordial when we filmed, but I wouldn't say that like we were friends outside. So the last day, it was a super long day. Pardon me, I don't remember how many scenes we did, because it's all a blur, but we did a lot.
But we were there late.
We were there really late. We did a lot, and you know, me and Kel just started talking, and that same transparency that I had showed with Lou in class, me and Kel had those types of conversations. So it's so funny. Give a little actor technique. So in the Chubbuck technique, there, before you start an intimate scene, what you're supposed to do is stand face to face with your scene partner. You're supposed to look them dead in the eyes, quiet, and you're supposed to think of the worst thing you've ever experienced in your life. And then after you go there, then you're supposed to imagine that they went through the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And so what that does is, and then you're also supposed to think of like I think I haven't done this in a while, like your freakiest like kind of fantasy like thing, like what would you, like you're supposed, it's like a couple steps, but one of the steps is to go to a place of you being hurt and imagine your scene partner, like they went through this too. Yeah. And so when me and Kellen started to talk and get personal, I realized like some things that I've experienced, he's experienced in his own way. And I was really floored at Kellen's transparency. Like he would come on set and he'd tell us some of the things about things he's went through or family and da-da-da. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I just think it's so beautiful for men to be transparent, especially Black men, to be transparent. Yeah. It's not as easy for them to open up. And I've noticed that a lot over the years in class. Like, it's hard for my peers, like Black men in class, to cry or to feel, because they're, you know, it's hard to break that emotional wall down. That's why we're all shook when, you know, Denzel lets out that single tear in Glory, or when, you know, like Jonathan Majors, I know he going through what he going through, but I think people were so drawn to his performance because you see this strong Black man, vulnerable, angry, crying. Like, you know, when we see Michael B. Jordan cry, like that's what turns women on. That's what creates that closeness, and that's, you know, towards the end of shooting, Kellen and I started becoming really comfortable in front of each other and having more transparent conversations, and that's why our bond was strengthened towards the end. And it, like you said, it was perfect timing.
Yeah.
For the sex scene. Oh, it felt so good to be a series lead, and I told myself, don't cry. Ugh. Don't you do that, girl. Stop it. Control yourself, damn it. Pull it together. No, it felt so good. Like, I'm disgustingly proud of myself, and I'm so grateful. Girl, stop it. Be strong. Be strong. We must not cry. I'm just, really, really thankful. So, and it's okay. I'm really thankful for the opportunity for you guys, and I'm very proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. So it felt great. It showed me, you know, because what I'm capable of, because it's one thing to like train in class, and doing things like this, it just adds to your confidence even more as a creator. So definitely just made me even more confident, and yeah, I'm so proud of me. I'm so proud of us, and I learned a lot. About myself as a woman, but also myself as a creator. Yeah, and it took a lot of strength too, especially, you know, having personal stuff, but then like having to show up and it's like, you're tired, but you gotta get this, you have to deliver. So I'm just so proud. It's like running a long marathon, and then when you get to the end, you're like, oh, wow, I did that. It's one of those things, like, yo, I did that. So yeah, I'm very proud. I would have liked to see Kia's kind of love situation a little bit. I would have liked to see a little more of that. Let me see. Oh yeah, I would have also loved to see more of Taj's background. I love psychology. Like, it's outside of my art, it's probably like the second love of my life. And just what the hell happened to him? Like certain parts in the series where he's like, he gets mad when Mariah says, if somebody was fucking you hard from behind, you wouldn't like that. He was like, what the fuck did you say to me?
Yeah, he like spazzes on her.
To me, this, you know, and I spoke to Lou about this when we were kind of breaking down the character. It alludes that there's been some type of sexual assault in his life, which is the foundation for a lot of personality disorders, which is the, trauma, sexual abuse. That is the foundation for borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder, some type of abuse. But I would have liked to see like him as a kid, like what the fuck happened to him? Yeah. So just because that type of stuff intrigues me so, like I watch too many Netflix documentaries, child. I have to stop. But like I'm so intrigued with personality disorders, and it's not hard for me to be like, I guarantee this person went through this or they went through that, da da da. So yeah, I would have liked to see more of his background, because I also feel like what happened to you? Who hurt you in this way? For you, why is your ego? The ego comes from insecurity. What happened to make you feel so low about yourself that you have to have, you're using this sex addiction as a pacifier? Is he hiding his sexuality? That's a thing too. A lot of men, sometimes are overly sexual because they're running from truths that I would have liked to see. I'm just the psychologist. The
possibilities are endless.
Right? Like, did you have a gay lover in high school that you're ashamed of? I mean, like, look at Aaron Hernandez, who I went to school with. Like, we learn about him, it's crazy, but then we learn about like, oh, he had a male lover in high school. Like, I'm telling you, like, a lot of these personality disorders are textbook in regards to what the person went through that made them become that way. Yeah. So I would have liked to see his background. But it's fun to imagine too. Yeah.
Okay, I actually have one more question.
Okay.
What would be your dream role?
Yeah. My dream role would be anything that I could act and sing and dance, like Glee, like when that show came out, like, bro, if I could have like auditioned for that show. Like, I told this, I went out on a date with this guy, what was it, 2 years ago? And he has like songs, or I don't even remember his name. That shows how much I liked him. I mean, no, he was cute and stuff, but we just, yeah. Anyway, he was on like the reality show when Glee was looking for people, and I think he like made it pretty far. And I told him at dinner, I was like, if I was on that show, I would have kicked your ass. Like, I would have beat the fuck out of you. So like anything like Glee, where you can sing and dance, or what's the show, Empire, but also things like Power. I love, it's terrible, but I love pain. Obviously not in real life, but I love pain in my art. Sick. So,
but they say a lot of comedians, like, they have a lot of pain, like they pull from a lot of pain.
I've heard that too, and like I love Robin Williams, and like I love Jim Carrey, but my goats are Martin and Eddie Murphy, but Martin in particular, like something that I love about him is his emotional awareness, and when he writes, even on the Martin show, like. Even on Thin Line Between Love and Hate, just how aware he is of women and our emotions. And he talks about his mother a lot and having sisters, and it's like, what has he seen? And he jokes on stage like about how poor he was as a kid, eating a little, the government cheese and stuff on the porch, like, mama gonna work it out, and it's like, those being poor and in poverty and shit like that, like, but being able to make it funny, I don't know the connection. It must be some type of psychological connection to having comedic timing and trauma. I don't know. Are all funny people fucked up? Are we all fucked up in the head a little? I don't know. Or have some type of fucked up background.
I think most creatives are.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. I think we all got some trauma with us.
For sure.
So yeah, we're in good company though.
Absolutely. A whole bunch of nutcases.
Making art.
Turning pain into something beautiful.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, girl.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, y'all, I don't have a sneak peek for next week.
That's crazy. Wow, that's crazy.
Because we're at the end.
We're at the end of the road.
If you made it this far, I thank you so, so much.
Thank
if
y'all.
you have watched Desire Submission, I thank you 1,000,001 times.
Yes, thank you.
Again, it is exclusively on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Venarios. Patreon.com/Venarios. So go check out the series. There's also a bunch of other exclusives and just great content over there. And yeah, thank you for joining
Thank
me.
you, Blair Bear.
And let them know where they can find you, girl.
Okay, y'all can find me at Terry Arcelia. That's TerryArcelia. That's Instagram, Terry Arcelia. I think my Facebook is official Terry Arcelia. My TikTok is, I think, official Terry Arcelia, but I'm about to start a whole new TikTok too. But yeah, just Google. That's who's so pretend. Google me. You should just Google me. But if you look up Terry Arcelia, all my pages will pop up like that. So if you want to do that, they should pop up. So yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, girl.
And I guess we'll see you
On the flip
with the
side.
next series.
Yeah, we'll see y'all. We'll see y'all too soon. I'll be in touch.
We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.